Hey everyone, Coach Jay again, back here with another episode of Your Daily Reset. Today we're going to be going over just a full body general mobility flow. So going to be great for cooling down after a week of hard workouts, or if you haven't worked out this week, it's totally okay as well. It's going to be a great one for kind of resetting our posture after maybe sitting down at a desk quite a lot, like I know I have. So let's just hop right into it. If you've got a yoga mat and you want to get on that, feel free. Otherwise you can do this kind of without any equipment. You might want a little bit of padding for underneath knees, say a blanket or a pillow, so that could come in handy as well. But let's just hop right into it. We're going to start on hands and knees. So we're going to come onto our mat, or again, if we want to put that blanket underneath our knees, feel free. But let's set up with hands right underneath shoulders and knees right underneath hips. And from here, we're just going to move into a few cat-cows first. So really nice and slow here. First, we'll move into cow first. I'm going to think about pointing my tailbone up to the ceiling, dropping my belly down towards the floor, and then finally lifting chin up, and then thinking about squeezing shoulder blades together. Pause there. And then we'll slowly start to reverse that. So we're going to start by tucking our chin down towards our chest. Then we'll push the upper back up towards the ceiling as hard as we can. Then finally we'll tuck our tailbone under, squeeze our belly a little bit, hug everything in for cat. And then slowly start from the tailbone this time. We'll untuck the tailbone, making our way back to that cow pose, dropping the belly and lifting the chin. And again, tuck the chin in. Push the upper back up to the ceiling. Move through the mid-back, finally low back and tailbone tucks. And then you can start to move a little bit faster here. Let's just go through about 3 more. Kind of on your own pace, no rush. But again, if you want to take it just a little bit faster than those first few, we can start to loosen up the back. After our last one, let's just come back to neutral, and we can walk our hands forward and out just a little bit, and let's point our index finger just straight ahead, so we can kind of rotate hands out just a tiny bit. And then let's send our hips up towards the sky. We'll have to tuck our toes under to do that for a downward facing dog. And when we're here, no pressure. We don't have to ever get heels down towards the floor. We can bend our knees quite a bit and think about pushing our chest through towards our feet, and just take a few big deep breaths in through the nose and then out through the mouth. Really beneficial here. Just any time spent with our head below our heart kind of shifts our perspective, shifts how blood flows in the body, just pays off big time. So we'll take a few big deep breaths here. Can think about pressing hands down into the floor, even harder to press our hips up towards the ceiling. Just think about creating length through our spine. And then from here, we're going to bring our right foot through first. We're going to set it in between our hands. If we need to take a few steps to get there, we can. And then we'll drop our back knee either to our mat, or we can bring it under, or bring a blanket or pillow underneath. We can untuck our back toe. I'm just going to come into a little bit of a low lunge here. So we'll start here. I'm going to think about squaring my hips off towards wherever I'm facing. So I'm going to pull that right hip back, left hip forward. And then behind our back, we're going to interlace our fingertips. So I'm going to grab behind me. I'm going to interlace fingertips. And then I'm going to think about pushing my wrists down towards the floor. Open up the upper back. Think about squeezing shoulder blades behind me. And now if I want to take that stretch into the hips a little bit deeper, I can press the hips forward gently. And then maybe even look up. We're going to just release that clasp of our hands. We're going to keep our knee and our right foot where they are, and I'll just drop my both hands down to the floor, kind of framing that right foot, and then I'm going to shift my hips back. I'm going to lift my right toes and get a big old stretch through that right hamstring, into that calf even, sometimes might feel it there. And then we'll just let our forehead kind of sink down towards that front shin. Let's shift our weight back forward. We can kind of press our hands down into the floor. We can take that right knee back behind us, then we'll tuck our toes under again. Down dog again. And then we'll do the same thing on our other side. So let's go ahead and bring our left foot through, set it between our hands. Our right knee drops down to the mat or our blanket. We can untuck the right toes and come on up to that lunge again. Again, we can just start here, take a moment, maybe press the hips forward, and then we're going to bring our hands back behind us. This time, a challenge for you is to kind of take that opposite hand clasp that we had, so it's going to be the finger on top that feels a little awkward this time, but just to keep things even. And then again, same thing, we'll think about opening up our chest, squeeze our shoulder blades together back behind us, and then we can press hips forward just slightly. Doesn't have to be too extreme. As we continue to open up, if we want to lift the chin just a little bit, open the throat. Now, some of the first things, for me personally at least, that kind of tend to get tight with all that time behind a desk are front of our hips and then upper back as well. So kind of double time hit both of those with this one. It's always a good one to have in the back pocket. All right, let's release. So hands can come down, frame that left foot. Let's pull those left toes up towards the ceiling, send our hips back just a little bit into a little bit of that hamstring stretch. Again, might feel it in the calf. That's totally okay. That's pretty normal. If it feels better for you and you kind of want to rock forward and rock back to ease in and out of that tension, more than welcome to do that as well. Let's shift our weight forward again. Let's take it on back to down dog, however we want to get there. If we want to kind of spin that left foot and left hip around, and then we'll tuck our toes under. Send hips up. We're going to move into half pigeon on each side. Let's take the right side first. So first things first, we're going to bring that right knee through to set down by our right wrist. And then with my right shin, I know you can't really see it right now, but I'm setting up usually around like 45-degree angle. We can work towards getting that knee to about 90-degree angle, but it's not there for me. It's not there for everyone yet. That's totally okay. With our left leg, we're going to untuck the toes. We're on the top of our foot. And then let's keep our hands up by our hips first for a second. Maybe look forward, get nice and tall. And then we're going to walk hands forward just a little bit if we'd like to. If you want to stay up on your hands, feel free. Again, make this your own. If you want to come down to forearms, you can. If you want to drop down and put your forehead on your hands or on the ground, feel free as well. So whatever just feels comfortable for you, whatever you kind of want to use to just relax here into this pose. slowly come on back up. So if we were down on our forearms or our forehead, let's walk our hands back up. We'll send that right foot back to meet the left down dog. And then take your time, but when you're ready, we'll bring that left knee through to set by the left wrist. And again, left shin can just kind of be at that 45-degree angle there. Doesn't have to get all the way to 90. If we want to walk our hands up first, let's do that. And then when you're ready, we'll start to walk hands forward. I should mention here, so if you're ever taking pigeon and it feels like whichever leg you got forward, you're kind of like having to fight to not roll towards that side, really good thing you can do, you can place a block or like a textbook or a blanket or something underneath that hip on that side of that knee that's forward. So really good one just to get you kind of to relax in this pose. Again, not necessarily something that we want to be doing and feel like we have to fight the pose, just a good one to kind of melt into. So I want to find that position that we can really just take a few deep breaths and relax. Walk hands back on up. And we can take it out of that pose however you want to. So if you kind of just want to roll onto that left hip, you are more than welcome to. So that is all I've got for you today, guys. If you want to stretch it all anymore, feel free. If you just kind of want to lay on your mat on your back in kind of that Shavasana position, feel free. Sometimes feels good after a nice stretch to just give yourself some time. But thank you for taking a little bit of time for yourself today, whether it's after a workout or whether it's just recovering from another week of quarantine. So take care, guys, and I will see you again soon.